all of us have inside of us, you can call it your conscience, you can call it God, whatever you want to call it, but there's this inner voice that speaks to us. And you know what it is when it happens. It's like it's a strong prompting. It's not just the head talk, but it's like kind of heart talk. And I remember this experience I had in prison. People deal with a lot of stuff in prison. They deal with divorce, they deal with, all sorts of family issues and stuff. And it can be really challenging, especially I think for us as men, because we're problem solvers. And to be in a situation where you're impotent, where there's so little that you can actually do to help. And I remember one time I was walking outside and there was a little pavilion and somebody was sitting there. I had seen him around, I knew him sort of, and I had the strongest impression, go talk to him. And I'm like, you just don't do that like in prison. You don't just like roll up to somebody and like sit there and have a chat. It's just not how it's done. So I was like, oh, that makes no sense. And I didn't really know him. So I kept walking and this prompting came again, go talk to him. And I ignored it again. I'm like, this makes no sense. And at the third time, I had rounded the corner and I thought, okay, I'm clear. And it came really strong, go talk to him. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's gonna think I'm a nut. Okay, I will listen. So I turned back around. His head was down, he was just kind of like this, I could tell he was down. And I sat down next to him. I said, look, I know I don't really know you, and this is gonna sound weird, but I kept having this impression to come and to talk to you. And is there anything I can do to help? And he proceeded to tell me how he was dealing with some really challenging things. His wife wasn't talking to him and things like that. And he had just been praying to God and saying, okay, I have prayed and prayed for help on this, and unless you give me a sign that you're hearing me, I'm done. And I just remember it was really powerful because I felt the Spirit so strong, and I was just an answer at that point for him. And people have done that for me. It was so strong. That inner voice. That moment for him was life-changing. It was life-changing for me too, because I listened to something, which I don't always do. I'm pretty slow about that, but I listened that time. And I think learning to pay attention to that voice inside, our intuition, that inner voice, is a key. It's so important to learn how to do that, because it is what is tied to source, it is what is tied to God, whatever you want to call it, and it is what is directing you. And the better we get at listening to that, the better our outcomes will be, and the more we're in tune with I believe, our purpose and stuff in life.